Welcome back to the Electrify podcast, brought to you by the creators of Electrify Expo, North America's largest EV festival, coming to a major city near you. How are we doing, everybody? Thanks for joining us here. This episode of Electrify podcast is brought to you by VMAX Mobility.
Experience the future of urban mobility with VMAX electric scooters. Founded in Switzerland and now in the USA, VMAX brings you unparalleled safety, quality, and reliability. No matter which of their electric scooters you choose, you'll enjoy the ride. VMAX e-scooters are UL 2272 certified, IPX6 water resistant, and boast supreme motor power. They deliver exceptional torque, speed, and hill climbing ability. VMAX has support and repair centers across the U.S. and offers a 2-year warranty. Ready for e-quality? Join the ride with VMAX.
That's right. We know mobility is a topic that is wildly growing. There's many different options, but Dani, CEO of VMAX Mobility, Mr. Horwitz, is going to tell us and break us down. Maybe has some cool new things he's debuting here, but thank you for your support of the podcast, Dani, and let's have some fun, dude. You got the VMAX hat on. What is VMAX?
Yes, sir. We are excited to be here. VMAX is an e-scooter company. We make electric scooters. Our U.S. operation is based out of Los Angeles. The company has been around since 2015, believe it or not, which is, I think, a true veteran in the space. Headquartered in Switzerland. We've been selling scooters mainly in Europe since about 2015, 10 years or so. And we just launched in the U.S. in October 2023. So we are a new kid on the block here in the U.S. market. And it's, we're going to be debuting some new scooters coming up at Electrify Expo in Long Beach. It's very exciting. And we're just happy to talk.
No, I appreciate it. And what separates VMAX other than not being V minimum? You're VMAX, baby. So what separates you from the rest of class?
Yes, great question. So as I mentioned, we were founded in Switzerland. Really, we take our Swiss roots, Swiss heritage. If you think of Swiss, anything Swiss, you think of quality mainly, whether it's chocolate or Swiss Army knives. And we're really, our goal, our main focus is to bring a very high quality, well-made scooter to the U.S. market.
Yeah, and that's when you're spending money, people, I got this deal, I got that deal. You don't really want to compromise just because of, it's always the talk is safety, right? Safety and regulations and seeing your product. How many current models do you have? Because again, I think it's fairly ambiguous with the VMAX Mobility. You talk about e-scooters, but I feel like having the mobility title gives you a little bit more freedom. And so how many models do you have?
Yeah, exactly. So it is worth emphasizing we are fully focused on electric scooters. Our product line is definitely diverse from your budget wallet friendly scooters, entry level scooters up to something much more premium. But again, really all of our scooters come with a 2-year warranty, UL certified, IPX6 water rating. We have a whole slew of safety features, whether it's blinker lights, whether it's brake lights, headlights. Our scooters are really built with quality first. Obviously, a very fun ride. But what I would say the most common piece of feedback I hear from people who ride the scooters is just basically, wow, it's really well made. It's just something different, which I think the market is flooded with low end, not just quality products, and we're really trying to bring something different in that respect.
Yeah, and I'm seeing all the different models. You have an app that works with it, but everything from price point wise, just over $1,000, or no, shoot, you have the VX5 from $400, and then you
exactly.
keep going.
So that's what I referred to before. That's more of our budget friendly scooter, entry level scooter. Behind me over here we have the VX2 Pro. This is by far our best selling scooter. We offer 3 variants. Really, the scooter's the same. It's just battery levels change, whether it's the LT, the ST, or the GT. And even the GT model comes in under $1,000. This is by far our best-selling scooter. It is also, I think it's fair to say, it's the most powerful single-motor scooter on the market.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats here, and like you said, 2-year warranty. 37-mile range, top speed of 24 miles per hour. So that's your bread and butter. Good price point. Seen
Yes.
$700, but like you said, it starts going up due to range.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the only difference in the variants. It's just battery size, which, obviously also adds a little extra weight, increases charge time. But if, someone does not need so much range, they could get the ST. But, the GT is what will get you the furthest range. Exactly.
And when we go to charge this thing, say you've ridden it all day, you go, your buddy's house, you're at the, whatever, you're running errands, you got a backpack on, go get some groceries or something. What's charge time?
Yes, so it's going to depend based on the variant, but it's basically a night if you plug it in at night. But again, the range we offered should be enough that you're going to get a full day, a full day ride that you plug it in at night and you should be ready to go the next day. So again depends on the model, but it could be 6 to 8 hours, something like that.
Yeah, it's reasonable, right? I mean, you gotta wait a little bit. Why the rise of electric mobility? And I do like how you're leaning into the Swiss made, like you said, watches, chocolates, just that refinement. And Switzerland's beautiful, and they're pretty. The rail system there is great. I have friends that live there, and I've been there. It's beautiful. But why the rise of electric mobility? What do you see, and what are some other trends that you're excited about, or what VMAX has got cooking?
Yeah, so I think I don't think it's something new, though. I do think we are far from mass market adoption. Just kind of
Yeah.
walking around the streets of LA. It's you're seeing mainly cars, and you're seeing many more cars than you are electric bikes or scooters. But I do think anyone who's taking a genuine look at where the trends are going. So it's definitely electric mobility. I think something like having a scooter, uh, whether it's recreational, it's just fun riding the boardwalk. It's just,
Mhm.
or even practical. I think having a scooter like the VX2 Pro can probably cut out a significant number of car trips, without a doubt. Whether you're running to the corner store, putting a shopping bag on the car, whether you're running up to a coffee shop, and I just think it's more convenient. You're not looking for parking. You don't need to find your keys. You just hop on, you park, you
Mhm.
go, you come back. I just think it's whether you're looking for convenience, whether you're looking for fun. I think an electric scooter really checks off all those boxes.
Absolutely. I mean, and I, I think value here. Like you said, I think $1,000 is reasonable. Some of these get a little expensive. So price point, you're offering value and that experience. All right, let's go for it, man. Again, this podcast brought to you by VMAX. So I'm seeing some notes here that are saying you got, again, new e-scooter product announcement. Is that being announced here, or is that at Long Beach, or
Yes,
are we popping off right
exactly.
now?
Exactly. So, the truth is we just launched in the US, as I think I mentioned, in October. We actually were at a micromobility conference in San Francisco then in mid-October. We launched then on stage. We had the test track, and it was really, really exciting for us to see it. As I mentioned, the scooters really, our main focus is quality. It's something that's hard to get across, and on the web page, it's hard to get across in an app. But when someone actually stands on the scooter and feels it, they push the throttle, they hold the handlebars. You can really feel it. And it was just
Yeah.
amazing being on the test track with our scooters back in October, whether it's total novice beginner riders that have never ridden the scooter before, or actual pro YouTubers that were there to really get their feedback and see people's reactions. It was just amazing. And it was really good for us to launch an event. And we're very excited now at Electrify Expo Long Beach, which is right in our backyard
Mhm.
here in LA, to unveil two new scooters that are going to be added to our product line. And I would just say for us, also these local events, I think they're really important. One, it just helps build the community, and a lot of what electric mobility PEV about is really that community. Something that you
Yeah.
you can't get. No one ride no one. There are no car riding groups, but there are plenty of bike riding groups, scooter riding groups, motorcycle riding groups. So I think community is a major element to there. We really, any opportunity we get to take part in that, to sponsor that, it's really important for us. So I think us being able to launch our new products at Electrify Expo is something that we're very excited about.
No, it's great. And while I'm listening, talking to you, I'm scanning your website, and something that's really cool, because I always talk about solutions. What is the solution here for VMAX? And you have a really cool quiz that basically you can find out which model is best for you. Like I just went and did it while I was talking to you. And it's like, hey, what's your, do you care about weight? How fast do you need to go? Are you on rough terrain? Are you on paved surface? Are you on hills? And all that equates to, and I said a little of this, a little of that, and it's like, boom. So yours recommended the VX4 because hit a little dirt roads, hit a little pavement. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. So we're trying to offer solutions. Really, everyone has their own unique use case for scooters. If you're going to need to carry your scooter 4 flights up the steps, so maybe you don't want something like the VX4, which is gonna, weigh in at 60 pounds. You want something a little lighter. But if you are going over rough terrain, then maybe you want that suspension, a little thicker tire, something like that. So really, everyone has their own use case, and we do try to offer. And again, someone who's not going over rough terrain, they just have a short commute on a city street. So maybe they don't need the suspension, and there's no reason that they should actually have to pay extra for the suspension. They don't need the extra weight, and so on. They could make do with something else. So we're really trying to offer a scooter that fits different budgets and that fits different test cases and use cases. Which maybe gets me into the scooters that we will be launking at Electrify Expo. And they will be on display. Anyone who's going to be there, please come and test them out. We're going to have plenty of scooters for test rides, cool. And we're very excited for the event. So what we're launching is, and this is really one of it's maybe the first time I've spoke about this publicly, the VX2 Extreme. So the VX2 Extreme, which is the next iteration of the VX2 Pro. The VX2 Pro is still gonna play a major part in our product lineup. It is still it is our best seller till today. It's not going anywhere. The VX2 Extreme though takes our best selling scooter, the VX2 Pro, and makes it better. We are upgrading the display to a 4-inch TFT, a full color LCD display. The footboard is going to be slightly wider. The back fender, the mudguard has been changed slightly. The motor is more powerful. Instead of a 1300 watt peak power on the VX2 Pro, you're going to get 1600 watts. Max capacity is increasing from around 287 on the VX2 Pro to 330 pounds on the VX2 Extreme. Range is increasing. If you get the GT version, you'll be able to go for around 40 plus 43 miles or so. So a lot of it's definitely an upgraded version, and many of the amazing features of the VX2 Pro are obviously staying, whether it's the IPX6 water rating, the UL battery certification, the indicator lights on the blinkers on both front and rear, the brake light, the headlight, drum brake, electronic brake, electronic regen brake. So it's basically taking our VX2 Pro and adding a lot of a lot of new specs and features.
We're hot rodding it. I mean, I work in the car space, so you got a little more hot rod here. And I do love the design. I was looking at your Instagram and the tail lights, the brake lights, and those are all just key features that I think really separates you from the rest of the pack. And talking about VMAX. All right, playing devil's out. So you said two scooters.
Yes.
So are you
exactly?
Okay.
And then is as you referenced before, the VX5, which is our entry-level scooter, we are unveiling the VX5 Pro, which basically takes the VX5 and adds on some other additional safety features such as blinkers. If you look at the VX5 right now, the handlebars do not have blinker lights. We're adding that on to the VX5 Pro. The tires are going from 8.5-inch to 9-inch tubeless. So there's some other slight modifications and new features as well to the VX5. So that's a new iteration of the VX5, and it's the VX5 Pro is being unveiled as well.
And that one, the VX5 is really lightweight, good value for the VX5 right now. $500. That's a great value. So yeah, I'm just looking at it. That's sweet. That's really cool. Playing devil's advocate here. What are some micro mobility challenges that you see? Both good and bad, but just I think the urban mobility challenges. Is it talking to the right consumers? Is it battery? Is it poor education? Is it manufacturing that kind of ruins it too? For if you step on a scooter, and obviously we've seen it, battery stability and having those issues with, it's scary. So,
Yeah,
but what are some
yeah.
other challenges?
Definitely. I think there's a whole slew of challenges, and I'm sure we've encountered most of them. You asked earlier about the rise of micromobility, so I think a lot of the headlines about micromobility and the e-scooter headlines particularly came with the shared scooters, whether it's Birds or Lime,
Yeah.
and I think the industry really I think there's two segments. You've got the shared and then you've got the private ownership. And I will, go on record without hesitation saying that I think most of the bad negative headlines are really coming from the shared scooters, whether, it's a nuisance, it causes chaos on the sidewalks, on the streets, falling over, and so on. And I think a lot of times people have, I think people who have a negative preconceived notion about scooters, I think it's typically coming from the shared scooter market. Also, I think the first generation of shared scooters really they weren't fun to ride. They were just kind of
Right.
uncomfortable and so on. And I think if many people, that may have been the first time they actually, and maybe the only time they ever rode an e-scooter and they didn't like it. And I think what we're selling at VMAX and some of the other good, there's other good scooters out there as well, but particularly what we're selling at VMAX, it's night and day. You cannot compare
Yeah.
a VX2 Pro electric scooter to what you could rent on the street, using an app. So I think there are people who have these preconceived negative notions. I think you do fight some negative bad headlines about the chaos of electric scooters. So we're not doing that. Private ownership, it's a different market segment. It's a different product. It's comfortable. It's fun. And I think that's a lot of the education that we're trying to do, that we're trying to kind of push through to potential consumers and into the market.
Well, and it's anything, right? Putting it in their hand or putting them on the bike, holding it, seeing the weight, finding the right solution. That's what's beautiful about, like you say, partnering up with Electrify Expo, being at Long Beach, shoot, just in a couple weeks here, and it's so exciting. Like, it's fun.
Yeah, and Jared, I'll also say that's why it's important for us to be at local events because you do want people to feel it. You really, until you ride, that's just kind of what we tell people. Ride our scooter, and you'll feel the difference. And that's why it is important for us to be at local events where there's a test track and so on. And I would even take that to another level. One element which we've really been pushing, again, we're new in the US, we just launched in October. It was very important for us as well to partner with local repair shops and local scooter shops throughout the country for several reasons. One, people, it's hard to, people are hesitant to drop $999 just from the look and feel on the website. And, as many YouTube reviews as they watch and so on, there are still people that want to feel it. They want to ride it up the block. They want to feel the brakes. They want to feel the throttle and so on. So we've made a big effort to partner to get our scooters into repair shops. And another reason, for that reason, for the test drive and so on. And another reason is really repairs. So as I said, we offer a 2-year warranty. But again, if our warehouse and repair shop headquarters is here in Los Angeles, and someone buys a scooter in New York or Miami, if they need to ship it back for a small
Yeah.
repair, it's just any which way you look at it, whether from a from an environmentally friendly way or an economic, it just doesn't make sense whether you're looking at
Yeah.
the environment or the economics. It just doesn't make sense to be shipping 40-pound scooters from one coast to the next. So it was also very important for us to offer our customers those local solutions where they can get a repair covered, a repair done under warranty. So in addition to these local events, we've made a big effort to also partner with local repair shops. And I do know, really from firsthand sources, it's not been an easy time for retail for scooter
Right.
shops and so on. They're definitely going through a tough time, but I am confident that they're such a significant part of the fabric of in the ecosystem of micromobility, electric mobility. Without those, it's much easier for me to make a sale to someone in Miami or Minnesota if they know they have a local repair shop that they can bring it to. So that makes our job easier as well, and also cuts down the amount of it cuts down a lot on customer support tickets and sending if we could just get the people to drive it up to a local shop and they could do a quick repair, it really makes our job easier as well, both on the pre-sale and after sale angle.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think it's, again, that cycle of service. And so if somebody wanted, so couple things. Who do you want to listen to this podcast right now? Who's listening to this? Who's your ideal person? It's like, and then your cycle service is great. So what would the buying experience be like? You know, like I said, I thought that was really a cool piece of taking the quiz and figuring out what is the perfect application. But what's the buying experience? And also, again, just elaborate.
Yeah, definitely. So I think our customers definitely break down into a number of segments. The amount of times that we get an email coming in from a potential customer who owned a lower end scooter, maybe something they got, off of Amazon or something like that, and the stem broke in half or whatever. We've seen crazy stuff, and they're looking for something a little bit more, or maybe it's running fine. They just don't get enough torque. They just don't have enough power. It's not making it up the hill. They live in a hilly area. A lot of our scooters can, manage a 33% incline. So it's
Yeah.
just we do see people who actually are already convinced they're sold on the e-scooter. They need it. It's their main form of transportation. They're just looking for something a little more powerful. So we have those customers. We have those riders, and then you have people who are totally new. Maybe it's two-car families that are thinking of trading in one car and replacing it. Replacing that second car with a scooter or something like that. And then it takes a little bit more education and discussion. But again, we're trying to offer scooters for a wide range of users and potential customers. And by the way, we also have the strictly recreational rider, someone who's looking to have fun on a weekend, going out to ride with buddies and so on. So.
Well, I think this is perfect solution for colleges and events. Again, I announced Formula Drift and Nitrocross, which Nitrocross is all electric, so very good fit and in paddocks and safety, and they're not going too fast. And obviously ride at your own risk, but you don't need a super fast scooter. You just want safety and all that. Anything else? Anything else you kind of want to add here, Donnie?
Yeah, I actually did want to touch on something else that just answering your question about challenges. So again, being a new company that just launched in the U.S., we have a very mature product line in Europe. Scooters, as I mentioned, we've been selling scooters in Europe for almost 10 years here. But coming to the U.S., we took products that were doing very well in Europe, but Europe has a lot of regulations in terms of speed and other criteria. And we launched in the US, and the truth is we very quickly realized our scooters were not fast enough. We were capping them out at around 90 miles an hour, and that was some of the early feedback we got from also testers and also customers, that the scooter felt great. They just needed a little more power, a little more speed. And even if 85-90% of your ride you're not going faster than 18 or 19 miles an hour, there are times you just kind of want to pass a car or you want a little more speed. So the truth is that at VMAX, as opposed to many of the other brands out there, our factory where we manufacture overseas is fully owned by VMAX. It's
cool.
our own factory. So we were
wow.
really early on, the first 2 or 3 months, we were able to take in all of our feedback that we received, both from customers, both from YouTubers, both from professional testers, and really send that back to our engineers and our product team. And within a very short time, we had a new firmware. We had some other adjustments to the products, and we were able to roll out a new firmware, which really increased the speed on, for example, the VX2 Pro to from 19 miles an hour up to 25 miles an hour. So that's just something that's very also really that gets into kind of the DNA of our company. Taking customer feedback, taking whether good or bad, and really finding solutions. And the fact that our factory is actually ours, it's actually owned by VMAX, we're able to adjust on the fly very, very quickly and really make sure we have products that are meeting the needs of our customers.
I mean, you're hitting all the right notes, man. I think this is really speaking to, again, that solution. I think it's really cool. I mean, I love this podcast because I just get educated on, look at all these new things and creative ideas. And I'm just thinking about my son, maybe get him one he's going to college next year. I'd be absolutely
totally. I've got a coupon code coming your way.
I mean, I think we really encapsulate everything that VMAX does. And again, just elaborating on everything, my dog's excited about VMAX too. What else do you want to add to this, man? Like I said, I like that question of like, who do you want to listen to this? Is it maybe other partners that you could work with? And again, the bike industry in itself, it's always like, you have these big ones, these big retailers, and then you have kind of some lower price point bikes. The LBS plays a major role, local bike shops, as they call them. And I just think going direct to consumer, but then having that fulfillment as far as that cycle service, I think is great. But anything else you kind of want to add as far as VMAX? I'm excited to see the 2 scooters, Long Beach Electrify Expo.
Yes.
I think it's a great addition to the lineup, power,
Yeah,
range, all those
totally.
things.
Yeah, and I would just say, anyone who's in the area, if they want to come test our new products or our existing products at Long Beach, the Electrify Expo, please do so. If anyone is in, the LA area and wants to swing by our warehouse for a test ride, please do so. And also, as I mentioned, we really have repair partners who have our scooters in many, many major cities, from San Francisco to Houston, Miami to New York City, and beyond. So just hit us up. On our website, hit us up, and we'll do our best to arrange for you a test ride with one of our partners.
Yeah, it's really cool. Well, thank you so much. See you at Electrify Expo Long Beach. And thank you to VMAX for supporting this podcast, and Donnie, some great information there. I think we just need to get people on the dang things more than anything. Just get them
Agreed,
on the scooter.
agreed.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. But again, thank you for supporting this podcast, and obviously pushing things out there in the VMAX Mobility. So this episode again of Electrify Podcast is brought to you by Donnie and his team over there at VMAX Mobility. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate your time. Thanks for listening to the Electrify Podcast, brought to you by the creators of Electrify Expo. Be sure to catch full video episodes on YouTube at Electrify TV, and follow along on social media for daily clips and more.